Hello everybody, this is Renuka. Today we are going to start ray optics. So before we start ray optics, let's see what is optics. Optics is a branch of physics which deals with study of light and its phenomena. Then comes the question, what is light? So about light you have been studying since 6th grade that light is a form of energy. Yes, it is a form of energy, but more precisely it is a form of electromagnetic radiation which can be perceived by the human eye. Electromagnetic radiation are of different types. You know the electromagnetic radiation like X-rays, gamma rays, UV rays, microwaves, radio waves, all these are electromagnetic radiation. But the electromagnetic radiation which comes in the wavelength range 400 nanometer to 750 nanometer and to which human eye is sensitive is called as visible light or simply light. So light is an electromagnetic radiation which can be perceived by the human eye. This optics is classified into two types: ray optics and physical optics. Ray optics describes the propagation of light in terms of rays, while in physical optics light is considered as an electromagnetic wave. In ray optics we can treat light as a ray which travels in a straight line. This shows a single ray of light, but it is very difficult to obtain a single ray of light. A ray of light is nothing but a path along which light ray travels. If there are number of rays which travels in a straight line and which are parallel to each other, then it is called as parallel beam of light. Group of rays is called as beam. There are three types of beam. Parallel beam, in which all the light rays are parallel to each other. Then we have divergent beam, in which all the light rays diverge from a point, means they move away from a point. And then convergent beam. Convergent beam, all the light rays converge at a point, means they intersect or they meet at a point. This forms a convergent beam of light. You have studied the different phenomena in ray optics such as reflection, refraction, dispersion. Ray optics describes all these phenomena. What happens when light falls on a interface separating two media? This is a normal. When light incident on the interface separating two media, partly it gets reflected and partly it is transmitted through the other medium. This is the first medium, which is air medium, and this is second medium, which is a glass medium. So when light incident on this interface separating air and glass, partly it gets reflected, means it bounces back in the same medium. This is called as reflection of light. And the bending of light ray when it enters from one medium to another medium is called as refraction of light. So what is the main difference between reflection and refraction of light? Angle between incident ray and normal is called as angle of incidence. Then this angle between reflected ray and normal is called angle of reflection. Angle between normal and refracted ray is called as angle of refraction. You have studied in laws of reflection that angle of incidence is equals to angle of reflection. These two angles are always equal. But in refraction, this angle of incidence is either greater than angle of refraction or it is smaller than angle of refraction depending on whether the light enters from denser medium to rarer medium or from rarer medium to denser medium. So in this case these two angles are equal, but in refraction these two angles are not equal. Reflection takes place in the same medium, whereas refraction takes place when light enters from one medium to another medium. See, light travels in a straight line as long as it hits a surface. When it incidents on surface, it gets reflected and some part of it is refracted. So this is about reflection and refraction. You have already learned the laws of reflection and refraction of light we are going to study later in this chapter. Spherical mirrors. As you know, every spherical mirror is a part of some glass sphere. If we take a hollow glass sphere and if we cut a small part of this glass sphere, then we get a spherical surface. See, there are two types of spherical mirrors, concave mirror and convex mirror. So can you tell me which type of mirror is this? Is this a concave mirror or convex mirror? See, this is neither a concave mirror nor a convex mirror unless we know which part of this spherical surface is silvered. Every spherical surface has two parts. This inner part is called as concave part and this outer part is called as convex part. When this outer bulging part is silvered and this inner part is made smooth and polished, then this inner part acts as a reflecting surface. This inner surface becomes reflecting surface. Such type of mirror is called as concave mirror. Now if we cut the same sphere from this side, consider this surface of the sphere. Then in order to get convex mirror, we have to silver a concave surface which is the inner surface. When inner surface is silvered and this outer surface, this outer bulging surface is made smooth and polished so that light incident on this convex surface, such mirror is called as convex mirror. Let's study some of the terms related to spherical mirrors. Aperture of spherical mirror is that part of spherical mirror on which light incident, means the part of mirror which is exposed to the light. If we take another spherical mirror, then this will be a aperture. This is also called as diameter of a spherical mirror. We can have spherical mirror of different aperture. So these are the mirrors with different aperture. Aperture of spherical mirror is the part of this mirror on which the light incident. Then pole of a mirror. Pole of a mirror is a geometric center of a spherical mirror, or you can say a midpoint. A midpoint of spherical mirror is called as pole, denoted by capital P. Center of curvature. As we have seen, spherical mirrors are the part of some sphere. Therefore, center of curvature is the center of sphere of which mirror is a part. Every spherical mirror is a part of some sphere. Therefore, center of curvature is the center of sphere of which mirror is a part. So, center of curvature of concave mirror is on the left side of P, while the center of curvature of convex mirror is on the right of P. Radius of curvature. Radius of curvature is a radius of sphere of which this mirror is a part. Therefore, a line joining center of curvature and pole is called as radius of curvature, denoted by capital R. Principal axis. Principal axis is an imaginary line passing through the center of curvature and pole of a mirror. Then we have paraxial rays and marginal rays. Paraxial rays are those rays which are close to this principal axis or which are close to this pole. They are called as paraxial rays. The rays which are parallel to the principal axis and which are close to this principal axis. So this would be paraxial rays. Marginal rays are those rays which are far away from this from this principal axis. Means which are the rays which are away from principal axis and which are towards the edge of mirror, they are called as marginal rays. See, both the rays are parallel to the principal axis. Only they differ in the position. These paraxial rays, they are close to the principal axis, whereas the marginal rays are away from this principal axis, but the both rays are parallel to principal axis. Next is principal focus, denoted by capital F. This principal focus is also called as point. Now, as we have seen, paraxial rays are those rays which are parallel to the principal axis and which are close to the principal axis. So, after reflection, these rays converge at a point. This point lies on the principal axis and it is called as principal focus. Principal focus is a point where the parallel rays of the reflection intersect at this point, and this point lies on the principal axis, therefore it is called as principal focus. But only the paraxial rays intersect at this point, not the marginal rays. Marginal rays intersect in between focus and pole. So if we take marginal rays which incident on the mirror, center of curvature, pole, and here we have focus. So when marginal ray incident on the mirror, after reflection, they converge at some point which is in between focus and pole. So they do not intersect at focus. Only the paraxial rays which are parallel to the principal axis and which are close to the principal axis, they intersect. After reflection, they meet at one point, or in case of concave mirror, they converge at this point. This point is called as principal focus as it lies on the principal axis. In case of convex mirror, these paraxial rays appears to diverge from a point. This point is called as focus. Paraxial rays which are close to the principal axis. But these rays which are marginal rays, they converge at a point which is in between focus and pole of a mirror. This is the main difference between paraxial rays and marginal rays. Paraxial rays after reflection converge at point. In case of convex mirror, they appear to diverge from a point. This point lies on the principal axis and it is called as principal focus. But marginal rays, they do not converge at focus. They converge in between focus and pole of a mirror. Okay. Focal length. Focal length is the distance between focus and pole of a mirror. Focal length is denoted by small f. It is the distance between pole and focus of a mirror. There is a relation between r and focal length. This relation is r is equals to 2f, or this implies f is equals to r by 2. That is, focal length is half of the radius. But this is true only when the rays are paraxial. When the incident rays are parallel to the principal axis and they are close to the principal axis, then only this relation is true. We are going to derive this relation in next class. What is focal plane of spherical mirrors? We know that focus is a point where all the paraxial rays after reflection converge. This point is called as focus. Now what if the rays are not parallel to the principal axis? Axis which passes through the center of curvature and pole. The light rays which incident on this mirror, they are parallel to each other but they are not parallel to the principal axis. The rays which are parallel to each other but they are not parallel to the principal axis, after reflection they converge at one point. This point is not principal focus. This point is called as focus but it is not principal focus, at it doesn't lie on the principal axis. So all such rays which are parallel to each other but not parallel to the principal axis, they converge in one plane, an imaginary plane which passes through this focus, and this is called as focal plane. See, this is a spherical mirror. Can you tell me which type of mirror is this? See, this is a convex part of the mirror and this is concave part. Convex part is silver and then again it is coated with some paint in order to protect silver coating, and this inner part which is a concave part acts as a reflecting surface. So this is concave mirror. Now this part of the concave mirror which is exposed to the light, on which light incident is called as aperture. You can measure diameter which is nothing but the aperture of spherical mirror, and this is convex mirror in which the concave part is silver and coated with some paint, and this convex part which is outer bulging part acts as a reflecting surface, and this is the aperture of this convex mirror. In our next class we will study the sign convention in spherical mirrors, and we will also solve some numerical example which are important from your exam point of view. If you like this topic, please do share with your friends and also subscribe to my channel. Thank you.